VGF mobile, 2 Echo 0 Victor Golf Foxtrot mobile, listening for any calls.
This is Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, commencing the Wales Ragchew. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call for 5 check-ins. I'll try and pass it round, those 5 check-ins, and then we'll call for more. I can hear myself coming through everything, so it looks like I am getting out to everything. So, if you'd like to be number 2 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, Michael in Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America, checking into the Wales Ragchew Net at number 2 position, I hope.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa in at the number 2. I put myself at number 1. Yeah, I don't get lost in the log then when I think about it later on. So if you'd like to be number 3 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
G0EUZ, a rod in Cambridge.
Yep, G0EUZ, Rod in Cambridge. Thanks very much there. And, of course, yeah, looks like I put the 0 wrong. Yeah, thanks for calling in there. Had a little moment then. Thought it was just me and Michael. Hi. So, that is G0EUZ. And, yeah, that's corrected now. So, if you'd like to be number 4 into the Wales Ragchew Net, go ahead with your call sign, name and location.
GW5VOG, also known as 2W0VOG, Steve in South Wales. Good evening all.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thank you very much there. Steve got you there in the log as number 4. So we're going to call for number 5 and then hopefully a number 6. If you'd like to be number 5 into the Wales Ragchew Net, please go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, nothing hurts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip it straight to the top, which is me. But of course, yeah, that one works well, doesn't it? Yeah, of course, yeah, I've actually managed to accomplish something today. So yeah, I actually set up everything going, ready to go out live. Well, never done it from my iPhone before, but set it where it broadcast to. But yeah, I did it on the road today, and then of course, yeah, set it live, ready to go. I've not shared it out as many places as early as I normally would. But of course, it has been shared out there, and of course, there are viewers there. That's all good there. And we've got people on the net. But yeah, that's all good. So what we do, we go round to you there, Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I suppose the question we better ask is, are you ready for Wednesday? So yeah, are you ready for Christmas? Over to you there, Michael.
Thank you, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, and Christmas is coming regardless of whether you're ready for it or not. But I think we got everything together right now. We did a little bit of a Christmas celebration Thursday night with the extended family, my wife's extended family, and had a Mexican restaurant, had a Mexican Christmas dinner together, and exchanged some presents there. We have more intimate family, my children and people like that coming Christmas Day. We're having breakfast for Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be our meal that day. Right now it's about 3 degrees Celsius here on a very breezy day. Winter is coming in very sharply here. But things are going well. I'm in a house. I'm in warm, and the heating unit is working well. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, thank you there, Michael. So, we're going to Rod next, G0, EUZ. Rain to you there. And I'm sure I'll catch up with you on Monday as well. But, yeah, and maybe even Wednesday, but I don't know yet. So, rain to you there, Rod, G0, EUZ.
G0, EUZ. Good evening, everybody. Nice to catch you all on. I did leave a long gap for you, Steve, to get you in between me and Michael, but I thought for some reason you might not be there, so I jumped in. Chris, I have to congratulate you on the live feed. I managed to get on early enough, and I was listening to the music, watching the banners, and it was very nice, very nice. So, what else? Yeah, weather-wise, much the same as yours, Michael. A little bit windy. As cold as 3, but it has been quite cool today. But it's not been a bad day, considering it's the shortest day. It actually stayed light longer than it did yesterday. So we're on the way up, or down, whichever way you look at it. So that's nice to look forward to. And apart from that, not done a great deal, but you seem to have, Michael. We've got nothing until Christmas Eve. We always go around to my daughter's Christmas Eve. But we cook. We take the food with us. So anyway, before I time out, I'm going to pass it back to Chris, and I'll carry on that theme on the next order. M7CCS.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I actually started the live stream a bit earlier than usual, actually. But of course, yeah, last week there was some Christmas music, and of course, you can do it as long as you actually put, normally in the comments of their videos, they've got all the copyright stuff you need to put onto the YouTube. So, yeah, no hiccups there. It would be a hiccup if the live stream stopped before we even started going with the radio, wouldn't it? Due to copyright, but of course, yeah, I would make sure that nothing is copyrighted on the beginning, and of course, yeah, we put a little bit of music on there. Of course, I normally put a different soundtrack on through the rest of the year while the timer is going down as well. But of course, yeah, it gives you something to listen to while you're waiting, doesn't it? And of course, yeah, you can see everybody keying up as well. So that's all good. I've got it set at a level, so if someone did actually call through or a conversation went on, you'd hear that as well. But yeah, it's Christmas. We get to play with a live stream a little bit. Even with we've already done the timing. But of course, yeah, it feels weird to say it's Christmas on Wednesday, but it really is, isn't it? So we're going to GW5 of VOG. Yeah. I wonder if you're all sorted and you've been to Marks and Spencer and got your mince pies, or maybe, yeah, other supermarkets are available. And of course, yeah, if there have been any coverage of the best mince pie this year on the telly, I haven't seen it because I don't watch it. Over to you, Steve, GW5 VOG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Good evening, Michael. Good evening, Rod. Yeah, thanks for waiting for me, Rod. But I was running a little bit late today, so I was listening to it all, but I was sat at the table still shoveling egg and chips and baked beans into my mouth. So that's not exactly food porn to start. That's a bit lower level than food porn, I would say. But yes, we're quite good with Christmas. I think the fridges and freezers in the house are packed with food. We've got a box with lots of cakes and stuff like that in it. We did go to Marks and Spencer's one morning. It was already chaotic. Lots of old people bimbling around with their trolleys getting in the way. But it was, we managed to do it. We just got a few things. We don't actually do a big shop at Marks and Spencer's anymore. Because we have a Sainsbury delivery every week. We've got loads of shops here anyway. We've got 2 Asda's up the road, a big Tesco, or medium-sized Tesco, and we've got 3 smaller supermarkets in Penarth. So we kind of shop non-stop. Anyway, yeah, I also put the YouTube feed on this evening while I was sat down eating, which I don't normally do, and I was quite impressed with the music. And you had a bit of classical music on there, Chris, going a bit highbrow, hey? Anyway, with that, before I time out, back to you, M7CCS and GW5DOG.
You pretty much, I've actually used somebody else's. So, of course, yeah, it's called A Complete List of Christmas Songs, All-Time Christmas Songs, Non-Copyrighted Music for YouTube. I did give it a little bit of a listen through beforehand and see how it goes. And, of course, yeah, I did manage to actually mix it out as well. I managed to mix it out just before it was time to actually start talking as well, although it was still going because it's, how long is it? 2 hours and 45 minutes mix of music there. And of course, it puts the little video out as well. We managed to do it this week without any adverts, so YouTube has listened to me email when I said I'm using content. And of course, yeah, it is not very professional content if the advert comes up when I'm using a copyright-free music thing. But of course, yeah, we've managed to do that. I'm looking at some fresh news off the press. There we go. So Sooty is going to do the Merry Christmas Net on Wednesday. So it'll be usual time, 16:30 till whenever it says. But it will be the Merry Christmas Net because, of course, King's Beach would have been over. Some people may have eaten. Some people may be waiting to eat. And of course, yeah, I'm sure it will be a Merry Christmas Net because we'll all be in the Christmas spirit if we do come on. So it'd be nice to catch up with each other all on Christmas Day, wouldn't it? So I've got the log on the screen on the live stream. I was going through all the mince pies as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if anybody would like to check in to the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location. Okay, nothing heard, but that's all okay. So we'll go round to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo, India Papa. Sooty is listening, so we better get him in as listening. M7EMH. And of course, if he's listening, fire me another message. Yep, so we got Sooty in there, and of course we'll put that one to listening. And of course he can always activate himself if he does want to come in. So round to you there, Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Thanks, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa here. And it looks like only the elite members have joined us so far, and that's good to hear. I'm glad we're going to get you out there, Rod and Steve. Good to see everybody out there. I guess I flipped over to another screen on my computer, so I didn't get to see the mint spies. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know if Chris shared with you. I put on a video. It's a YouTube video that popped up on YouTube because they are watching and stalking you as you do anything on the internet, apparently. Amazon, Facebook, anything else. But of two youngsters, two high schoolers, frying biscuits and gravy, Southern United States way, and it was very interesting to see their reactions. That's why I had to share it with Chris that their reactions went from very gross to pretty delicious meal by the time they got done, especially with the fried chicken. But I thought that was kind of hilarious, and changes your mind about certain cuisines as you go. But glad to have everybody out here today. Hope everybody's looking forward to a Merry Christmas. Like I said, we're having our family over on Christmas Day for breakfast. I might try to join the net if I have time before everybody gets here. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo and Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Michael. Yeah, of course, I did see that. Of course, I'm not always logged into the Ragchew account, so I get notifications for the W.D.R.G stuff. But, of course, yeah, I did see biscuits and gravy there, and of course, yeah, some people that have never been on the net commenting in there, and, yeah, and trying to get around it. But, of course, yeah, it's gone, isn't it? We have jam with ours. So, yeah, we are presenting an article, which is apparently the best UK mince pies of 2024. So, yeah, we've got some our top picks, best budget one, and things like that all coming up on the screen. Of course, I can't actually get a proper thing. So, yeah, we've got what they tested. But I can only see a load of boxes, but we are presenting that out. There we go. The best mince pies for 2024 are Farm Shop Short Crust mince pies at £12. The best budget mince pie is cooked mince pies at cookfood.net. So I'm looking for supermarket stuff, but of course, yeah, not getting all that much supermarket stuff coming up for. Find out the best supermarket mince pie. But yeah, people on the net are allowed to say, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment as well. So we're around to you there, Roger G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ, back to the group. Yeah, we got some Greg's mince pies, but unfortunately they're finished. They weren't going to last any longer anyway. We also got some Sainsbury's mince pies, and all they've done there is it's got a little bit less filling, and they put it in a much fancier packaging. So there you go. So yeah, I was saying, Christmas Eve we go round to my daughter's. Although my wife cooks the meal, stew and dumplings. We take it round with us, and we all have it. Very nice. And then Christmas Day we're going round to my daughter's, and son-in-law cooks, and that's a full turkey dinner at tea time, as it were, evening meal. Bacon and egg sandwiches for a late brunch, you know, so that's good. And then on Boxing Day, they all come round to our house, and we have a buffet, an all-day buffet, basically, from about 12 o'clock till everybody's had enough and gone home. So that'll be good. I got a letter from Cambridge City Council today with a nice photograph of my car going through on a bus lane camera, apparently. £70. Pay it within 21 days, and it's down to £35. 2 weeks ago, I was running my granddaughter around certain shops, tattoo shops. She's looking for an apprenticeship. So we went on the mall in Cambridge. Now, I don't remember going through a bus lane. This particular photo was taken, but there we go. I've paid anyway. Just annoying, really. I don't think I'd have bus lane. I think I'd probably come in halfway through and not seen the sign saying that it is a bus lane. So back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0, you use it.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I've been going around the supermarkets with my eyes shut. Because I'm looking at all the best mince pies, and of course, yeah, I'm holding one up at the minute. Cathedral City Cheddar and Chutney mince pies. Yeah, and I've seen some, well, I call them joking, but yeah, they were the Aldi version of Bailey's mince pies. There seems to be a lot of all butter mince pies. Yeah, oh, here we go, caramel crumble mince pies now. Yeah, and I think it's becoming a novelty thing, isn't it? We're going a little bit of tradition now. Right, we go round to Steve, GW5VOG. Oh, that one's nice. Yeah, before I put it round to you, whiskey, well, no, we can keep whiskey fig and spiced honey mince pies. Right, round to you there, Steve.
GW5VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I've got the my tablet. I've got the live feed on right next to me. It's across the other side of the room for some reason, so I can't focus in on it. But that well, I can't actually read the writing. But looks like you're looking at a lot of posh ones there, I think, and after the classical music, I think you're definitely going up market. And there we are, you'll be going to Marks and Spencer's next. I saw the biscuits and gravy earlier on with the school kids. I didn't actually get a chance to read it properly, and I will later on. But I did think that I'm pretty sure it tastes a lot nicer than it looks, because it didn't look that amazing. Yeah, you can't have a mince pie with cheese in it. Come on, that's just not right. So all these silly ones, I don't agree with that. I saw about 2 weeks ago a report from the Manchester Evening News online, so it must be true. Tesco's Merry mince pies, £1.25 price match with Aldi, is apparently they were the best supermarket pie for cheapness and flavour. So there were better flavour ones, and there may have been cheaper ones, but they were the best overall to combine the two. Yeah, and I was saying that you can't have cheese in mince pies and that sort of thing, but I did buy a block of Stilton cheese when we were in Mars. A couple of weeks ago, so I'm trying that out. I think it was Christmas cake. I've got to put it on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, Christmas cake, yeah, that's that normal fruitcake stuff, isn't it, that they put up to about 15 quid, isn't it, at Christmas. But, yeah, we did actually do something good, actually. Earlier, well, back in November, maybe October, we picked up 2 ducks for Christmas Eve. Yeah, we paid £15 for the 2. Normally, we pay about £25. For a duck on Christmas Eve. or before Christmas Eve. But it's amazing how they shoot the prices up, isn't it? Yeah, that's just the way it is, isn't it? So I'm going to find my mouse cursor, and then we're going to see if anybody else would like to call in to the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
MW7 RHR Personals Richard, location Charlie Bay Angles.
MW7 RHR, thank you very much there. I've just looked in my database, but yeah, you must have been licensed maybe this year. But of course, yeah, no, nothing in my log there, because of course it's an offline log in a sense that goes out online. So yeah, it's Richard, and he's in Trigger Bay, Wales. Back over to you there, Richard. And yeah, not heard you on the Ragchew before, but it is nice to hear you. Over to you there, Richard. MW7 RHR.
MW7 RHR returning. Yeah, I think this is my first time joining on to the Ragchew. I think I was licensed last February. Kind of fell into the hole badly. At the moment I'm looking at probably 4 or 5 different radios, 3 or 4 handhelds. Give us 2 secs.
Okay, we'll give you a couple of seconds there, and of course, yeah, it seems like you needed to do something. But yeah, welcome to the Ragchew, and of course, yeah, it's good to have you on there. Of course, everyone's welcome. So, is there anybody out there that would like to number 7 into the Wales Ragchew Net? If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Tell us what you've been up to.
Mike, Whiskey 5, Golf, Victor Yankee Mobile. The name is Nigel. The QDH is about 10 miles south of Wrexham at the moment. Been down to Pembrokeshire to visit my mother just before Christmas, and it was her birthday yesterday, so had a nice little few days down there. I'm now heading up to the proper northwest of England, to the county of Cumbria, near Whitehaven. Should get there around midnight, all being well. Over.
Yeah, Mike's Whiskey 5, that was what I got of it. But of course, yeah, it did puzzle me then, because of course, yeah, I got Darrell's call sign who runs cqnorthwest going up on my screen there that I'm looking at. So, of course, yeah, it's good to get you on the Ragchew Net as well, and of course, yeah, we'll try and keep you company for as long as you're in range. So that's all good. I'll put it back over to you there briefly. I didn't get the personal, and of course, yeah, I can put the correct call sign in there. Mike Whiskey 5.
Mike, Whiskey 5, Golf, Victor Yankee. The name is Nigel. Yeah, I'm only going to be at Golf Whiskey for an hour or so more, then I should be back in England, and that'll be just me, Mike 5 again then. Gets a bit confusing when I'm dodging backwards and forwards to Wales, always trying to remember the secondary locator. But other than that, it's nice to use this. I've been off the radio for about 10 years. Just coming back onto it, to be honest, and this digital lark is all newfangled to me, so I'm just enjoying listening to the Ragchews at the moment. Over.
Yeah, Mike 7, CHESHIRE, no problem there, Nigel, and of course, yeah, it's of course, yeah, being out of the hobby that long, of course, things have changed there, and of course, yeah, I've been in the hobby since 2019, licensed, and of course, I originally got licensed in Wales, hence why you're thinking, why somebody with an English call sign doing a Wales Ragchew Net, but of course, yeah, it all started when I was in Wales, and of course, yeah, I've moved back to England, so of course I've dropped the W, but Then again, even if I was in Wales, I would have probably dropped the W, because it's not compulsory anymore, is it? And yeah, it's all good there, Nigel, and of course, yeah, nice to hear you on. I'm going to give another call out to see if anybody else is on the side. If anybody else is on the side of the W.D.R.G for the Wales Ragchew Net, last one before Christmas. If you would like to call in with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
2 Whiskey 1 Tango Echo Romeo, sat in my front room. Yeah, I think it's only the advanced call signs that can drop the locator, as intermediates and below can't drop it. So yeah, we had a mad storm Tuesday night, smashed my back doors in. I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning to find my patio doors ripped open and my front room crashed because of the wind. Oh, what great fun. 2 Whiskey 1 Tango Echo Romeo, back to control.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, it's a good job that most of us know you getting your back doors smashed in there. But, of course, yeah, I'm sure that's expensive. But then again, the one thing is, you'll tell us on the next globe to sit in the summer. Where's that blown off to? Hi. So, is anybody else on the side of W.D.R.G for the Wales Ragchew Net? If you'd like to check in, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over.
MW7RHR returning.
Okay, thank you very much there, Richard. And of course, I've already got you in the lockdown, just calling for some more. And I didn't hear anything, but of course, yep. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it up to the top of the list. I'm going to go back over to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Over to you there, Michael.
Thanks, Chris. This is Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. I have a question. Now, looked up these mince pies, and it says in the olden days, I don't know how old the olden days are, they used to be made with mint, or with meat, and now they're made primarily with spices and fruits of different kinds. So the question I have is, has anybody tasted one of the traditional ones that have meat plus the fruits and things like that in it? And what is the difference between those pies and the ones you have for now out there? And I'd like to be interested in that because I like the traditional stuff. And whenever I try something, I like to try it from the original source on. But if somebody can give me a hand, I certainly would appreciate it and give me an idea of what it tastes like. And without turning back to you, Chris, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. If you weren't from stateside and that was Monty asking that question, I'd have thought that was a trick question. But of course, I've Googled it. Mincemeat traditional recipe, and it does come out as, yeah, pretty much the fruit recipe stuff. I don't actually see anything that actually has meat in. So authentic mincemeat. Yeah, it is just one of them things. It's like your biscuit and gravy. Of course, yeah, we call that scone. But of course, yeah, it's the filling that goes in inside a mince pie. It is called mincemeat, although it's made with fruits and raisins, currants, brandy, lemon, shredded sweet, dark brown sugar, chopped mixed peel. But that is the only recipe that I'm finding on Google. They're all like that. I don't believe that there is any actual meat that goes in mincemeat. Yeah. So I'll look on the Mary Berry one, traditional. So yeah, she'd know. But of course, yeah, they are. It's all traditionally fruit that makes the mincemeat up there, Michael. I might be wrong, So we go round to Rod. He's got a little bit more wisdom than me and might know a bit more. G0EZ.
G0EZ, back to the groove. Well, I'll leave Steve to answer that question because I believe he did answer that recently. It might have even been last Saturday, I can't remember. But it was very recently, and he'll explain it all. But yes, I wouldn't eat one with meat and mixed fruit and sweetening. I don't mind a mince pie with, real mince and gravy, but I wouldn't have it with as a sweet. That wouldn't be right. So, yeah, what else is... I don't think I've done a great deal this week, actually. Radio-wise, certainly not. I've been in the shack twice, and that was to go on Sutty's Net. No, I shall do my best to get in on Monday night on Sutty's Net. Probably Tuesday sometime, and everything will be switched off until the following Friday. I shan't even attempt to get in anymore for fear of upsetting her indoors. But Michael, that Kathy won't have any appointments as such this week, or until till the new year. So I hope. And I'm going to actually sit down and enjoy herself. So that would be good. Right, what else was there? So yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Chris. M7CCS G0, the user.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sarah. Yep, you said you leave it to Steve. I'm sure he'll explain it better, but I did actually find a Victorian recipe then. Yeah, Victorian mincemeat. I accept no substitute. The meat isn't obvious, but your mince pies will be rich, luxurious.
Returning, yeah. Actually, it was me who said about the originally having meat in, but I'm not an expert, and I was just saying it like I had it in the back of my head somewhere. I seem to remember that. So I'm not an expert, but strangely enough, I had Googled it before Rod said I would know all about it. Here's what Mr. Google says. Yes, historically mince pies did contain meat. Typically minced beef or mutton, as the mince in the name refers to the finely chopped meat in the filling. However, in modern times, most mince pies are made without meat, and the only remaining meat-derived ingredient is often suet, which can be replaced with a vegetarian alternative. It does say a bit later on. Over time, the amount of meat in mince pies gradually decreased, and by the late Victorian era, most recipes omitted meat entirely. To answer Michael's query, I've never seen any mince pies anywhere made with the original recipe. I think you'd have to just make them yourself, to be honest. There's no commercially made ones, I'm pretty sure. The interesting thing is the late Victorian era, because that's in Britain anyway, and it's probably the same over in America. That's where most of our Christmas traditions come from. Like the Christmas tree, Prince Albert was the first person in Britain to have a Christmas tree, because they used to have it in the part of Germany he came from. And there was a period when from that period, the association with ice and snow and going out and skating and things like that. So it is the sort of end of the Victorian era that gave us what we think of as Christmas now, I think. Okay, so with that, back to you, Chris, M7CCS from GW5VOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Steve. And yeah, you mentioned it. So Rob said you were the expert, but yeah, I've never tasted him like that. But of course, yeah, I genuinely thought that he was in it. Michael might have been getting it mixed up with a minced beef and onion pie. But yeah, he did mention all the fruit and everything. But yeah. I typed in looking for summer, and of course, yeah, I didn't find the answer shopping, but I did come across some Welsh honey rum mince pies from somewhere called Wilfred Pies. £24 a box. They hi. So we're going to go around to Richard now, Hotel Romeo via cqnorthwest.
MW7RHR returning. This is just going to be a quick one. I'm expecting a fellow operator to come round. He's on probably one of his handhelds. Obviously, you've been talking about mince pies. As far as I'm concerned, mince pies are the spawn of Satan. Don't know why. Can't stand them. Don't like mince pies. Don't like Christmas cake. I've always put it down to they remind me of being stuffed full of Christmas dinner and somebody turning up with mince pies and cream or something like that, and not having any room, so it's kind of put me off for life. If you don't mind, well, I've got a bit of promotion about a new repeater that came on air today. If you don't want me to say anything, I won't bother. Back to you.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, free speech on the air, is not a problem. And yeah, well, we promote, you know, we promote digital radio, so the Wales Digital Radio Group, and of course, yeah, Ragchew Net started long before, but of course, out of the Ragchew Net, we developed the Wales Digital Radio Group. So, of course, yeah, we live and breathe digital radio, but we do the analog stuff as well. So, yeah, back over to you there, Richard.
MW7RHR returning. Yes. Officially 3 o'clock this afternoon, actually came online yesterday afternoon. There's a new DMR repeater that's just come online at Holyhead. It's GB7 India Alpha. Like I said, it's DMR. The analog will be coming online in the new year. So I don't know how many of you operators will be able to hit it. Looking at the transmission maps for it, it's covering basically all over the thing and a little bit south of that. So that's it. So it's Golf Bravo 7 India Alpha.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, yeah, just gave it a little googly, and it's actually on the live stream from Repeater Book at the minute, and of course, yeah, downlink, well, it gives me downlink of 439,000, uplink 438,500, with 103.5 uplink tone, but it looks like it may have been, yeah, it says it's, yeah, System Fusion enabled, P25 enabled, NXDN enabled, M17 enabled, but of course, like you said, it is new, and that's from 3 PM, so that's probably the old stuff going out there. So I'll more of a more up-to-date link. So, well, nope, that says all modes as well, and it says operational now. But of course, yeah, like you said, it's all new, and I'm sure if I went to the ETTC and had a look, I'd probably find it there. But all good there. And of course, yeah, Holyhead there, that's over towards North Wales, isn't it? So we'll go round to MW5 GV1.
Yankee Mobile, England now, making good progress, I think, at the moment. Should be back on the A6 with a bit of luck shortly. Weather's been a bit rubbish so far. Typically winter's rain that we're getting through Wales, but other than that, so. And talking of mince pies, I've been sent home with half a dozen hand-baked mince pies made by my mother's neighbour, so I'm looking forward to eating those probably tomorrow or the day after. I'll keep it short because I am driving. But it's really good to hear everybody on, and nice to hear some good call signs. Good to see that these new repeaters coming online as well. Excellent. So I'll pass it back, and I'll just carry on listening. Thank you very much. F5 GVY Mobile.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Nigel. And yeah, we'll give you a call on the next one. Of course, yeah, talking of repeaters, I better say thanks for the usage of Golf Bravo 3, Golf Mike, in Worcester, which is actually on the Malvern Hills. It's a few miles away from me. But yeah, that's when I decided. I thought, oh, I'll give that a blast tonight. So that's what I'm coming in through via the WiresX onto the system. So also, yeah, I get to use me FTM 200 because I only get to use it really for analog stuff mostly, because of course I'm so close to the gateway and it's so easy to just pick up the FT70. Because of course we run a gateway here as well, MB6CS. There's other gateways on this network as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to go round to Monty, GW1 TER. Back over to you there, Monty.
To Whiskey 1, Tango Echo Romeo. Yeah, mince pies did have meat in them. I remember my mummy used to put meat in it, but it was different. It wasn't like the fruits we have in the mince pies now. It was like fruits that go with meat anyway. But apparently, going back to my uni days, I remember that mince pies, or meaty mince pies, were banned after the English Civil War because they were considered to be Catholic. And like Catholic families ate it at Christmas to celebrate their Catholicness, so they were frowned upon during all that religious persecution stuff when the Protestant Catholics were kicking off. And yeah, so yeah, mince pies are very traditional and go back a long, long way. But I suppose when you were poor, if you've got a bit of meat, you mostly ate foraged food anyway, so berries and fruit and that were your main diet. So yeah, I suppose you'd chuck in whatever you could. We didn't have the luxury of Tesco's back then. It was what was in the hedges and in the fields, wasn't it? So yeah, but yeah, we still eat meat with fruits nowadays. You have duck and orange, duck and plum, chicken and cranberry. Yeah, we still use fruits. I like red jam with chicken. Any red jam's nice with chicken, except for strawberry, it's a bit too sweet. Blackcurrant jam. Hey, and I got a timeout. 21 Tango Echo Romeo, back to control.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, yeah, you did have a little bit of a drop out in timeout kind of thing going on there. So of course, yeah, we've got to put the timeout on the screen. So if you're watching there, Monty, you can't see the timeout going while I'm actually talking. I better stop that because I have been told before that's annoying. But that's the idea. So. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to see if anybody else would like to join us. If not, we are going to go back to the top of the list. So what I'm going to do, put the log back on the screen, and we'll see if anybody else would like to join us for the Wales Ragchew Net. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, nothing heard. So we go up to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, with a Ragchew Net on the history of mince pies. Hi, hi. Over to you there, Michael.
Thanks, Chris. This was Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa. Sorry to take you down the rabbit hole of mincemeat pies, but I Googled it, and it said traditionally it went back, way back with meat that was preserved in fruit. So that's what I wanted to ask. But I didn't know how much traditional was. And I have to agree with the YouTube videos. I mean, when they first pour the biscuits and gravy together, it does look kind of gross, but it sure tastes good. Although we would probably say the same thing about your beans on toast. Don't quite understand that myself. I guess I'd have to try it to figure it out. But I was one other thing. Well, I'll get to it later on. My wife used to be a purchaser. Well, she still is technically, even though she's on leave and she's trying to get this transplant and work. Slowly meandering our way through that. She has good days and bad days. There's more bad days probably than there is good days, but she keeps on trudging. That's what we all have to do. But they sent her, one of the suppliers sent her a kringle, which is a very flaky pastry, almost like a croissant in oval shape. It's got meat. The filling is made of fruit, and it's got a layer of icing on the top of it. Very delicious. It's almost, if I could describe it, I don't even know how to describe it to be traditionally with you, other than maybe in a croissant in a large round shape. Very good. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, of course, yeah, it's not a problem with the mince pie things, and of course, yeah, we always learn something, and it always gets thrown around somewhere. So, yeah, better tell you a true story on mince pies. To be quite honest, I do like them, but not too many of them, because after a while they make my teeth wince, because they're a bit too sweet. Of course, yeah, I got put off with mince pies in a sense, because, of course, yeah, being a kid, I went into the cupboard before Christmas when I was younger, when Mummy and Daddy was asleep. Yeah, I got this stuff out of the cupboard, and it said mincemeat. So I took a spoon with me up into my bedroom, and there I was eating away at it. But of course, yeah, what I done is I chucked it out into a bowl and put mayonnaise on it, because I thought it was meat. But yeah, turned out it wasn't. But that educated me. Yeah, mincemeat and mayonnaise, not the best recipe. But of course, yeah, a couple of mince pies with yeah, maybe with some cream, warm with some cream on it, and of course, yeah, it's all good. And of course, what's the other tradition? So we've got the Christmas pudding as well. So of course, yeah, the old Christmas pudding that it would be made up, and then yeah, it'd be there settled for a long, long time. I remember my grandparents. I have seen it on shop bought ones, but only just for aesthetics kind of thing. But of course, yeah, I remember my grandparents bringing a Christmas pudding round in a bowl, in a Christmas shaped pudding shaped ceramic basin thing, and of course just a tea towel over the top of it. Well, it looked like tea towel. It was some kind of probably some special clothing cloth wool, but it definitely wasn't that grease-proof paper kind of stuff that we get on them nowadays. Or a plastic tub. So we go around to Rod G0 EUZ.
G0 EUZ, back to the group. Yeah, Christmas cake. I actually like Christmas cake, but it's so rich you just can't eat a lot of a white sauce. I'm not keen on ones that are too laced with alcohol either. Same with mince pies. I don't like the alcohol in it. So yeah, I mean, when we go round to my daughter's for Christmas Day, I mean, there's 7 of us all together, but there's only me and my wife that actually eat the Christmas pie. None of the others do. They usually have a Christmas log or something like that, which is like a chocolate sponge, isn't it? But yeah, me and my wife have Christmas cake with white sauce. So we have a tiny one between us. But to be honest, you know, by the time I've eaten the meal, you know, and all the pigs and blankets, all the vegetables, there's not a lot of room left. So yeah, I don't really. But usually, the chocolates come then, don't they? After that, and a few more drinks, and yeah, it's not good for you. But there we go. Yeah, I think, like you said, with the mince pies, the fruit was actually it was in place of sugar for preserving the meat. So I certainly don't want it. I don't mind a mince, like you say, a mince and onion pie with gravy. Absolutely fabulous, Chris. M7CCS, G0, you use it.
Yeah, I don't mind a mince beef and onion pie. But of course, yeah, the worst thing was is when I was a bit younger, I used to travel around on buses, and yeah, and of course, yeah, you travel around on a bus, and yeah, you know, someone's either got a mince beef and onion pie from Greg's in their luggage, or it's BO. But yeah, of course, yeah, we try not to think of that one when we are eating it. But of course, yeah, it's only when you smell it from a distance it kind of smells like that. Yeah. And of course, yeah, all the log things, of course, they've turned into caterpillars, and there's been lawsuits from different supermarkets and things like that over caterpillars and things like that. But yeah, it's where someone else puts a spin on a tradition, and of course, yeah, traditions are learnt by families, and as it goes on, and if you know family traditions, and of course, yeah, 2 different families end up getting together to make a family, and of course, yeah, they make those traditions of their own, don't they? So we will go round to Steve GW5, the OG.
GW5 VOG returning. Thank you, Chris. At risk of boring everyone, I'll just add some more about mince pies to pin down the time when the meat disappeared. Mrs. Beaton's household management book, which probably was until like about 50 years ago the most famous English cookbook on the market. The first edition was published in 1861, and it contained 2 recipes for mince pies, one with meat, one without meat. The second edition, and all subsequent editions, only had the without meat in. So it must have been around that time, which is getting towards the end of the Victorian era, that the meat disappeared. Twitter's point about the Puritans and them being banned at the time of the Civil War. What happened apparently, they started to become associated with Christmas, and people used to make little pastry representations of the baby Jesus on top of them. So that's when they became associated with Christmas rather than just all year round. And when the Puritans sort of rose in influence and power around about the time of the Civil War, they decided that was idolatry, because it was a representation of God, which you mustn't do if you're a Puritan. So that was when they started to be negative about mince pies, but they didn't succeed, fortunately, and we still got them. So there we are, and I like them, and I do eat too much of them at Christmas. I must admit, I bought actually traditional food. I bought one today, which I haven't done for many years. That was a Yule log, which is sort of chocolate, a bit like a Swiss roll, really, with a Christmas theme. So I wondered if Michael, perhaps when he comes around, can tell us, do you have Yule logs at all in America? So with that, back to you, Chris M7CCS from GW5EOG.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, I used to enjoy a good Yule log when I was younger, but it's that thing again, isn't it? Too sweet, right? Well, you eat too much of it, and it's the cream inside it kind of, with the chocolate, it cuts at the teeth, doesn't it? But yeah, of course, Yule logs, of course, we'll present the screen, and we'll remove the curtain again. And I've got various Yule logs up on the screen from Googly. So, of course, yeah, there's all various ones, but of course, yeah, it's all in the icing. It all depends how it's done, doesn't it? Because if it's too chocolatey, that's when it gets you, yeah. And of course, if they're too cheap, then, of course, being too cheap, of course, yeah, the chocolate doesn't. So we're going to go around to Richard, MW7RHR.
MW7RHR returning. So I will wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a great New Year, and hopefully we'll catch you again after in the New Year.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra, not a problem there, and it's good to have you on there, Richard, and of course, helping fellow other DMR users, that's also good as well. So I'm looking now, 21 today, this is the 21st, I mean the date. So yeah, next Ragchew will be the 28th of December, and of course we will have Sooty's Net on Christmas Day. As well. So, of course, yeah, we've got Sooty's Net Monday, and then we've got the Christmas Day Net on Wednesday. Then we've got the 28th, the next Ragchew, and then I'm trying to work out January now, and then it'll be January the 4th. So, of course, yeah, I remember checking that out. I was checking out that I didn't have a Ragchew on Christmas Day or anything like that. But, yeah, 7-3 to you there, Richard. So we'll go round to Nigel, MW5GVY.
My GVY mobile. You're not going to think this is my sign off while I'm here. Probably here. I'm not sure how I keep this picture. I seem to be accessing this native from Golf Bravo 7 Whiskey Hotel. No idea where that is. I'm using a radio with a digital mode built in, so. Well, I could operate it. I'm not sure how it operates at the moment. I'm pretty manual. Thanks for listening. I'd like to say thank you very much for nation. Enjoying the Ragchew, and hopefully I might be able to hear another distant time. Thank you very much. Bye, the GBY.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Thanks very much there, Nigel, and of course. Yeah, when we have Ragchews and when I've mentioned Sooty's Nets, so Monday afternoon and from 4:30 p.m. And of course Wednesday afternoons from 4:30 p.m. Sooty does a net, M7EMH. So of course, yeah, you're welcome to join in on them. cqnorthwest connects up for the nets. But of course, yeah, the main core network where we're doing the actual Ragchew and everything is the W.D.R.G network XLX042D. Yeah, whenever you get near a googly machine, type W.D.R.G in, you'll probably get the website .uk, WDRG.uk, and of course it'll tell you a little bit more about it. Of course, the live streams go out on YouTube. If you type my call sign into YouTube, you will find all previous Ragchews. And yeah, 7-3 there, Nigel. So we go over to Monty, 2W1 TER.
2 Whiskey 1, Tango Echo Romeo. Yeah, I'm having a bit of duck for Christmas. I got some duck legs in from Tesco's. I'm going to cook them in the air fryer with the spuds underneath, some all the duck fat drips on top of the roasties, and cook them. Yum, yum, yum. So I live on my own, so I ain't really into cooking big meals, and I'm not a Christian, so I don't celebrate Christmas and all that rubbish. I mean, you live on your own, there's no point, is there? It's all plastic toys now. But, yeah, I don't mind a nice meal. Yeah, the Yule log, that goes back to the pagan traditions, doesn't it? It's like, I love how so many traditions are wrapped up in one weekend, really, I suppose. You've got pagans, Christians, there's, you know, loads of different religious things involved in it, innit? I think the Romans celebrated it, and they got a bit in there, and different countries have different things, like Spain have the Pooh Man, don't they? The Poohin Man. And it's interesting. And of course, old Santa Claus being Turkish. And, yeah, got a bit of Muslim in there, is everything, isn't it? It's quite interesting when you look at it. But, yeah, I don't celebrate it because I'm not that bothered, really. It's just another day with dodgy films on TV to me, and the shops are closed. It's just like a Sunday. But, yeah, it is a family thing, I suppose. But, duck for me, my favourite meat. 2 Whiskey 1, Tango Echo Romeo, back to control. Feeling hungry.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you can always be extravagant, and, well, I say be extravagant, it costs an arm and a leg and a second mortgage, doesn't it, to go out on Christmas Day, for food. But you could pretty much turn around and go out, yeah, not Christmas Eve, but sometime this week, yeah, it'd be cheaper in the week, go and have your Christmas dinner, yeah, celebrate it. Don't go and get your Christmas dinner and then, order it from Toby Recovery and then microwave it on Christmas Day. But of course, yeah, I know what you mean. I mentioned it today in a conversation today about, you know, when you're on your own, you don't really bother too much about Christmas and stuff. But of course, yeah, the good thing is, if you can be bothered to get down to the supermarkets just before Christmas, so Christmas Eve when they're closing, 40 minutes before they're closing, you can get all the yellow labels and pretty much do Christmas very cheaply, can't you? So that's all good. Alright, I'm going to give a quick call, see if anybody is on the side and would like to join in. If you would, go ahead with your call sign, name and location, and an over. Okay, nothing heard. So, we're going to Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Thanks, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa here. And Yule log. I've heard about Yule logs my entire life. When I was a little kid, I thought that was a special log you put in the chimney at Christmas time for Santa Claus. And realized after a few years that it was actually something you ate. But I've never tried one, never had anybody make one. I don't know of anybody that's ever served one at their house. As to ducks, I've been around duck hunters most of my life, and I've tasted a lot of ducks, but it's never one of those things that we traditionally had at a Christmas or Thanksgiving or a traditional meal, I'll put it that way. It was always something that was a little bit special that you might have during the week just because somebody went duck hunting and got one. It's just a difference in the traditions, I guess. We're going to have a ham and we're going to have bacon because we're having breakfast. So we're going to have bacon and sausage, and of course it's going to be smoked country sausage, things along those lines for our Christmas dinner. My wife is tired of the traditional meals that most people serve this time, so she likes to mix it up a little bit. We have different people bring different things as if we were doing new breakfast or supper, or breakfast for tea time, as you would say. Question, we do have one more question before I move on, because I know I'm full of questions today. Here I was on to Holding Net last night, and we were talking about towers. Everybody was dreaming of a nice, really nice radio and a tall tower. Right around the corner from me is a gentleman that has a 45-foot tall tower, about 13.5 meters. And I was wondering, how many HF towers with the like Yagi antennas do you have over in your area of the world? It seems like a lot of people live in villages and cities and maybe not have that restriction. And with that, I'll turn back to you, Chris. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, when it comes round to towers, it's normally something that someone's been able to get their hands on because it's been decommissioned, because it costs a fortune to have one commissioned. Of course, yeah, you need some kind of planning permission to put that in your back garden. I have heard of people having collapsible ones, fold-over ones, etc., because you need to with the wind here. But of course, yeah, the favourite one that comes to mind is the pump-up mast. So of course, yeah, if you can get hold of a pump-up mast, put your antennas on it, and yeah, you can get it up pretty high that way. But of course, I believe that most, I think it comes under Town and Country Planning Act, most antennas, it's meant to be a maximum of 3, including your TV aerial and Skydish. And of course, it's got to be, lower than 1 meter of roof height, I believe. You can go a little bit higher than that and stuff like that, but, you know, that could get you into trouble, but it all depends how nosy your neighbours are. But, yeah, be interesting to know that one. And, of course, sort of the repeaters and things, they're normally put up on hills and stuff like that. My gateway here, of course, is an antenna on the same stack as my collinear. That's a 70 centimetre dipole. That covers me for about 35 to nearly 40 miles. So, of course, yeah, height is your might, but you don't always need all of that height. But, you know, when it comes to a repeater tower and stuff, if you've got height, it does work very well. And, of course, since my HF has gone up in the air, of course, yeah, I don't get much noise from the house anymore. So height is might when it comes to that. So we go around to Rod, G0EUZ.
G0EUZ, back to the group. Well, yeah, I think a much lower percentage of amateur compared to America, Europe, such as Italy, where they seem to have it in the middle of town. They have them fastened to the flat roofs of their houses. But yes, they're very difficult to get. I did actually have a wind-up tower at, when I lived up north, when I was first licensed. It was actually, and it wound up to about 30 foot. I made it myself, and they had a tri-band beam on the top, full size. And when you wound, although we lived on a hill, so you could see it quite clearly from the back, and it overhung the next door neighbour with permission. But I didn't have enough problems. When you got wind, it made a lot of noise through the house because it was actually, like I say, fastened to the house. But there's an amateur relatively local to me, within 20 miles or so, and he has 3 very big masts up, but he lives in the middle of a forest. And you've got to look, really, to see if he's standing up and higher than the trees, you know. So how he did it, I don't know. Presumably he lives on a farm and got away with it that way. So, yeah, I wouldn't like one now, but I always wanted one again. Even though, of course, you get a lot of noise with wires. So back to you, Chris, M7CCS, geez, you know, he use it.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yeah, that's pretty much what I go with. I've gone with the 49-to-1 long wire. But yeah, except, of course, yeah, when you go for verticals, of course, that people were saying it needed radials. And of course, yeah, it's above his ice. But of course, yeah, the long wire is probably the best one to go for. But of course, yeah, what he done is he got a booking with a TV installer to come round and do it. And yeah, from when I was listening, I was thinking, oh my God, I hope that installer hasn't said he'd supply the coax, and then he's installed it with like Sky Cable or with something else, because of course that would be 70 ohm, wouldn't it? But of course, yeah, it would be nice one day to get the antennas up very high, but I don't think we're going to do it. But of course, yeah, I've learned by getting it just above the house, there's hardly any noise floor at all. So we go round to Steve, GW5VOG. I say there's hardly any noise floor at all. I haven't turned the HF on in the evening yet. And of course, yeah, you've got all these Chinese Christmas lights and things like that. And of course, we have to, we might get some extra noises, of course, once Christmas has been and all the presents have been unwrapped, because all these little Chinese chargers go on on Christmas Day. Hi. So, we will go round to GW5VOG.
GW5VOG returning. Yeah, so just answering Michael's query about Yule logs. They were originally actual logs, so you're right. You are remembering the original. It was pagan, actually, as I think Monty said. People used to cut down a log from outside, bring it into their house. You said about putting it in the hearth, which is a sensible place to put it, but and you'd obviously use it as fuel afterwards, after Christmas. But I think one of the things was they used to put it under their table, and it was some kind of fertility thing that guaranteed that you would have a good harvest or something like that. So it was originally a wooden log, but now it's a bit of chocolate Swiss roll kind of thing. Yeah, the tall masts. I know of a couple of people who've got them in Cardiff, and they've got planning permission for them. So that, you know, it's all okay. But all of them, their neighbours hate them, and they always have trouble with the neighbours over them. And so in a small urban garden, it's not a good thing if you want to stay friendly with your neighbours. I've got a long wire. I think most people I know have got long wires now. I've got quite a long garden, actually, which is, lends itself to a long wire, doesn't it? But we also, there's the DX Commander type multi-band vertical seems to be quite popular with a lot of people. I'm sure that Michael's heard of that over in America. He's quite well known on YouTube, the guy that makes them. Callum, and yeah, they seem to be quite popular. Yeah, I think most of us now just have long wires. I mean, with my antenna, you can't actually see the wire, which is the aerial tend to droop, so I'm not sure whether it's that good a thing, actually, to be honest. There you are. I've also got somewhere in the house antenna from 2E0 ERO, which I've never really used yet, so I'll have to try that sometime. So, yay, time out. It wouldn't be me without getting at least use Chris M7CCS from GW5 DOG.
Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, you definitely got the time out there, Steve. Yeah, if you're watching the live stream, you'd have seen it comes up on the whole screen now. Of course, yeah, you got the time out there, Steve. So, I've got to have a look now. Oh, yeah, it was Richard who left us. Of course, I think Nigel might have been just on the edge. I can't remember. The two, I know that they were both on cqnorthwest, I believe. So, we go round to MW5GVY. Nigel, round to you there. If you are still with us, I've got a funny feeling that I just forgot to mark it, that you were going out of range on the last over. Over to you there, Nigel, if you can still hear us. Okay, nothing heard from Nigel, so we will give him an honorary 7-3 because he was on the, I remember it now, he was on the edge of the repeater. So we're going to go round to Monty, and then we might give Pablo a go. He's sat there in the Echolink. So, round to you there, Monty. 2W1 TER.
Yeah, 2 Whiskey 1 Tango Echo Romeo. Yeah, duck used to be one of the meats because before turkey hit the English shores, it was goose and duck and things and chicken, really. I suppose we didn't have turkeys back then, so back in the olden days, you ate whatever you could again. It was what was available. We didn't have turkeys probably till the Victorian times, really, when we did, well, probably after we discovered America. And I say we discovered, I mean Europe and that, not just as Brits. Or before trade between America and the turkey bird came over. But yeah, it was traditionally British game meat. So we had duck, pheasant, goose, swan, that sort of meat. You know, venison. I don't know how much beef was popular back then. Pork, you know, hog. It was whatever was available. Rabbits, hares, frogs, you know, small children, whatever they fancied. So yeah, I do like duck. I do like the flavour of it and that, especially if it's cooked properly and it's slightly pink inside. But there you go. Yeah, I had a long wire. It started playing up a couple of months ago, and because of the winds lately, I haven't bothered putting another one up. But I've got one of those GV5 ones as well. I bought years ago. Never really had much luck with that. And of course, I've got a mag loop. But again, everything stayed down because of the wind. And that's for my Skydome thing. Yeah, that broke. I had an argument with the seller because he wanted me to ship it back. And again, Amazon stepped in, paid me back, and said keep it. So it's down behind the tool shed at the moment because I knew the winds were coming again. It won't point putting up in the winter. But yeah, that's what happened to that. 2 Whiskey 1 Tango Echo Romeo, back to control.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Well, of course, I'm presenting something. Before turkey became traditional Christmas dinner, children isn't listed. Monty, but yeah, it's all good there. But yeah, Before turkey became traditional Christmas dinner, goose and capon were commonly served in England during the 16th and 17th centuries. The rich sometimes ate peacock and swan. King Henry I don't know my V's, said to have been the first English monarch to have turkey for Christmas, replacing the traditional goose. King Edward VII, don't know it, also popularised the tradition. Yeah, things like squash, butternut squash, and things like that were before. Then it's going into a lot of other Christmas stuff that's not the same.
M6CCS, yeah, thanks, Chris. Yes, indeed, I am listening on Echolink tonight. It's been a while. I'm on taxi duty tonight, so my older kids are out partying and wherever else, so I said I'll pick them up. I'm just sat in the living room at the moment watching TV, playing on the laptop, and now listening and talking to you guys. Not much going on at the moment. That's you, Chris, from M6CCS.
Yeah, Mike 7 Charlie Sierra. Well, if you're on taxi duty, you got to tell them that if they were trying to get any Uber at peak time, then they'd have to up the fee to have to get the Uber to come to them. That was the thing the other day. One of the boys' friends, he came round to visit him. He's normally away at university, but he came round to visit, and he decided he was going to go home, so he got the Uber app out. And there was quite a few cars within range, and of course it sends a job out to all of them apparently. None of them were taking it. He upped the fee, what he was willing to pay, and one of them took it. Remember, it's if it's over Christmas period and we're coming up to Christmas, you're going to have to put double on the meter before they even get into the car. And then, of course, you're going to have to charge something like, £2 a mile? But, of course, I'm guessing you're on about Dad's taxi, aren't you, Pablo? Probably no fee included. So, we go over to Michael, Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, and we're going to start the 7-3 round as well. So, round to you for your last over. And 7-3 there, Michael. Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Thanks, Chris. It's Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa, and that's King Henry VIII. Off with the head, as he would say. The 8th is VIII. I think that was 3 I's. And I remember from the Christmas Carol, at the very end, the Ebenezer Scrooge sending the boy to get the goose from the shop window. So I guess during the Christmas Carol days, it was goose instead of turkey. I'm more of a fan of ham than I am of turkey. So either way is fine with me, I guess. I do like to do the drumstick off of it. But anyway, it's been a great net. I've asked way too many questions, probably took people down the wrong rabbit holes on the mincemeat. Sorry for that. But I did learn something, and any day that I can learn something in my old brain is a help to me, even if it is trivia. I hope everybody has a great week. Happy Christmas. Over here we say Merry Christmas, but I noticed that everybody over there says Happy Christmas. So Happy Christmas to everybody out there, and hopefully we will return safely and soundly with our families to next Saturday when we have our next net. And I'll try to get into the Christmas net on Christmas Day if my family doesn't show up too early. Happy Christmas, everybody. 73 from Whiskey Alpha 5, Romeo India Papa.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yep, 7-3 there, Michael. And I'm sure I might hear you on the Christmas net there. Of course, there won't be any live stream for it or anything. It literally it's City's net there, and it was scheduled a but it's a Wednesday anyway. But I wasn't sure until just before the Ragchew whether it was going ahead or not. So yeah, he's going to do he'll do a Christmas net at 16:30 till whenever. Normally it goes on to about 5, but it's all going to depend on people. And of course, yeah, I was going to get it wrong, but I know to get it right now. You're going to have the King's speech, at 3 p.m. So that'll be over and done with it. People might have had a little snooze while that was on, or after it. And of course, yeah, by the time that he comes to his net, of course, everyone should have opened their presents by then. They'll be trying to test their radios in, etc. So, yeah, hopefully, and hope to hear everybody. And of course, it'd be good to catch up with everybody on the Christmas day as well. So, I'm going to go around to G0 EUZ now. Rod, round to you for your last over and 7-3.
G0 EUZ, back to the group. Well, we've certainly covered some topics tonight, haven't we? It's been very interesting, and of course we've had some new lot come on as well, which is always great. So, yeah. So I shall say a very happy Christmas to everybody, except those, of course, that I will speak to on Monday on Sunday's Net. We'll not do that all over again. But yeah, if you all have a good Christmas, and we'll certainly try and catch you next Saturday. But like I say, I'll be there Monday, but I won't be there Christmas Day. So 7-3's all, and happy and Merry Christmas even. I say Merry Christmas more often than not. So there we go. So M7CCS.
Yeah, thanks very much there, Rod, and 7-3 to you there. So we're going to go around to Steve, GW5VOG.
GW5VOG returning, yes, 73 to everybody. I was going to, it's just come into my head, why is turkey called turkey when it's a North American bird in origin? It's quite a long story, so I'm not going to tell you now, but I'll save it up. Unfortunately, I can't come on the next Saturday. I'll be out having a meal with the family, so it will be 2 weeks' time, by which time it won't be topical at all, will it? So you probably won't be interested, and I'll probably will have forgotten. So, yeah, it's been a great night, net tonight. I've really enjoyed it. Lots of mince pie history, I suppose, but we do tend to always gravitate back to food, don't we? So, yeah, have a merry or a happy Christmas. I think I would mostly say merry, but we do say happy Christmas as well. And I'll say, seeing as this is the Wales Digital Radio Group and the Wales Ragchew Net, Nadolig Llawen, which is Welsh for Merry Christmas. And we could also say Bon Noel, Feliz Navidad, whatever it is. And yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. See you in a couple of weeks. Next year, in fact. I won't be back on till next year. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. Yep, no problem there, Steve. And of course, yeah, well, you say you won't be on till next year, but you might be on. But before it's next year. So we're going to go round to Monty, 2W1 TER.
Yeah, 7-3's all. Yeah, as usual, talk about food and different cultures. I like it, yeah. So 7-3's all, the Dolly Clowen, and I'll speak to you all in a couple of days. Take care. Hello, Val.
Yep, 7-3 there, Monty. So we're going to go round to Pablo now at M6DGB for his 7-3.
M6DGB returning. Yeah, firstly, Chris, apologies for coming in late and not being about for quite some time. Obviously, other things going on and everything else. To everyone else and you, Chris, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, your partners, your wives, your spouses, and all the family as well. And catch you in the new year for the ones that are going to be around next Saturday. So I'll say 73s. Enjoy the festive activities, all the food, the drink, and get merry, but be careful, and stay safe. 73s, M6DGB.
Yeah, okay then, 7-3 to you there. And, of course, I've been Mike 7, Charlie Sierra. I'll catch you all again for next Saturday for another Ragchew Net. 7-3 for now.